Hello everybody, my name is Mark Young and I'd like to welcome you to GIS 101 Fall Semester 2013. I wanted to do a couple introductory videos to get things started, and the first one being just sort of a visual kind of presentation so you can kind of a little more informally, I guess, get to know a little bit about me, and a way for me to kind of introduce the class. That's a little bit different than what I've done in the past. I haven't had a lot of video interaction in the class before, and so I'm going to try to introduce a little more this semester, hopefully to make it a little less formal and just kind of get to know everybody a little bit better, I guess you could say. I miss the two-way interaction, and I know probably many of you do as well. For a lot of you, this might be your first online class. And it's relatively new at Rome State as well, but we've been doing it for several years now, and so I guess we're getting a little more used to it. GIS is a really interesting subject. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. I hope you're looking forward to it, and I think we'll have some fun in the class. So we'll progress at a pace that's a little bit fast paced, I guess you could say. But we'll try to go at a pace that everybody's comfortable with as well. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I've been teaching at GIS at Rome State now for about 10 years, and I teach several of the classes. So those of you that are going through the program, whether it's the certificate program or the degree program, I'll be working with a lot of you in a number of your classes. We have another instructor, and the coordinator also of the program is Pat Worth, and so you'll get to know her very well also. And I think, like I say, I think you'll enjoy the program. Right now, it's just the two of us that teach the classes, and Pat does several of the in-person classes, and I do the online classes. And unfortunately, we only have the online classes for several of the courses, like the GIS101, the 210, the 110, the 220, and so forth. And like I said earlier, it's a little bit different format, of course, and so I'm going to try to make it as comfortable for you and myself as we can. So like I say, I've been teaching here for 10 years, and I really enjoy the classes a lot, and GIS has changed a lot during those 10 years as well. It's continuously seems like changing. Lots of new tools, new applications. The software changes regularly, and we've got yet another new version this semester. We try to start off in the fall whenever we're changing versions of the main program, at least. And it seems like ESRI, the company that makes our primary software, puts out a new version about every year or less. So it's can be hard to keep up, and even the books change very frequently. So we've got yet another new version this semester to work with, and some new books as well. And so I'll introduce those in a little bit. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Some of the things that I do in addition to working at GIS at Rome State. First of all, I guess I should say that I've been teaching this about 10 years. I'm 51 years old, just turned 51. Have two children, a daughter 12 and a son that's 10. My wife's from Peru, and we've been married about 20 years now. So that's a little bit about myself. I love to travel out west. I'm a big fan of the outdoors. I love to go out and explore the parks and wilderness areas and so forth. Try to do that at least once a year. Sometimes I get lucky and get to go twice a year. And in recent years, I've been taking the family along with me. I used to do all this just on my own, and I still do some, but trying to get the family out a little bit more. So we've taken some trips out west in the last few years. Seen a lot of the parks like Yellowstone and Arches and Grand Canyon and Zion and so forth, and I just really love that area. And like I say, I try to do at least one trip, sometimes two, just on my own usually. Go out and I'll go camping, exploring, and so forth. And so in the class, you'll hear about some of the examples and some of the material on the test and so forth fit with that theme really well. And so I'll use that for some of the material you see. So I like to introduce that up front so you see my biases, I guess. Um, but again, it all lends itself really well to GIS. So there's some good practical examples where we can use. And so you'll see some of the data from some of the parks and some of the areas in the western U.S. And hopefully you all will enjoy that. We'll mix that with other examples, of course, too. But let's see what else. My background is in forestry. I guess forest recreation is the primary area. That's what I studied initially in school years ago now, it seems like, and focused again in the recreation side of forestry. And then in my graduate school, I worked on wilderness management, and so I was very interested in learning more about that area. And so I did that for quite a few years, worked in the recreation field for a while. I've worked at different places around the country, worked in the Gila Wilderness in New Mexico while I was in school, worked in Crater Lake out in Oregon as a park ranger while I was in school, and then I ended up getting into a little bit more of the forest management side of things after doing a stint as a recreation research planner for the Forest Service for a while, and then worked with the state of Tennessee in the Division of Forestry for a little while as an area forester in the Crossville area, and then started working at University of Tennessee, where I've been now for, gosh, I guess about 17, 18 years. And so I worked in forest management there for about 12 years. And then the last 6 years or so, I guess now, been working in just GIS. I've always kind of used GIS in most of my jobs. And the last 6 or so years, I've been able to use it almost full time between that and information management systems. And so really enjoy it a lot. Goes well, fits with the teaching and stuff. The teaching sort of keeps me on top of the software a little bit and the newest changes and things. So it mixes really well together. So that's what I do full time. Work at the University of Tennessee full time. I teach part time at Roane State, several of the classes. And then I like to say I have a half-time driving job as well because I live in Crossville. And so I've got about an hour and 15-minute commute each way every day to Knoxville. So like many of you, I stay very busy. Just wanted to let you know that I can definitely sympathize and understand the situation a lot of you are in, especially those of you that are like myself, that are working, taking classes and so forth. In addition to the work that I do, I'm also taking classes just like you. I decided about 4 years ago to go back and get another master's degree, this time in information management. Felt like it might fit a little better with the work I was doing, and have really enjoyed it, but about worked myself to death between the full-time jobs and part-time jobs and driving and then going to school. I can, like I say, I can definitely sympathize with those of you that are in similar situations. So it's a lot of work. I understand that, and hopefully we can work together in this class and get you guys through the class and keep your sanity and cover some interesting things that I think you'll enjoy as well. So that's enough about me. I'm going to stop now. Again, just bear with me on some of these videos. It's kind of a new thing for me. I just thought if I could maybe make the class a little less formal by doing this, so I'll try to do some of these occasionally, try not to make them too long. And I'm going to switch over now and do a screencast. So if you just look for the second part of this introductory video, and we'll pick up with that. So I'll be back with you soon.